evening, all you midties. I'm not quite sure if this is Reelz Talk because we didn't use our normal opener, but
Oh.
welcome to
You use the normal? Oh my! Get the idea. You get the idea. Sorry about that. That's on me. That's on me.
Definitely. And he hasn't even drank all of his wine yet. Good evening, all you minties, and welcome back to another episode of Reelz Talk with your host, the amazing Amanda, my lovely co-host, the Uncanny Omar.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What are we talking about today, Amanda? What are we reviewing?
You can tell by those really sexy blue eyes right above our heads. We are talking about
Rosario Dawson.
Yes, just Rosario Dawson. No, okay. Ahsoka Tano or Ahsoka. The series premiered 2 episodes today, dropped on Disney Plus here in America.
Last night.
Sorry.
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I watched.
Not watch it then.
I watched one last night.
Yes, so it dropped late last night, and we are going to be talking about the first 2 episodes that have dropped, and give you guys a little bit of a recap, our thoughts on the first 2 episodes, and kind of, you know, what our expectations are for the whole season. So, yeah, Omar.
Yes.
Take it away.
What? Really? Okay.
Background. Give us some background, because I'm going to be honest.
If you have not seen Rebels,
this is gonna be
go and watch Rebels, because this is like Rebels season 5. I was watching
read a wiki or something. Or read a wiki.
I mean, okay. I will say this. I think it stands on its own. I think it's okay to watch this. I think watching the show will make you want to watch Rebels, though, or Clone Wars. Because it's that intriguing of a story, and you want to know backgrounds. There's a lot of things. Like I thought this was just gonna be her show searching for Luke Skywalker, kind of in between the episodes of Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, right? Like searching for Luke Skywalker. But then in the trailer we saw a familiar face.
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Which is so cool, because I didn't know this until I had to look up who's playing who.
Yes.
Do you know who's playing him?
Yeah, is it Lars Mikkelsen, right? Is that his name?
That's who voiced him in the show.
Well, and I remember him as the villain in season 3, so
I was surprised. So, you know, of course he comes from the books. He's been in the comics, but he was big at Rebels. Yes. And this really does feel like a follow-up to Rebels. But like I said, it stands on its own too. But it does feature the character of Ahsoka Tano and Sabine Wren, right? Who was the Mandalorian character in the Rebels. And if you didn't know that, I threw 2 together at the end of episode 2.
Definitely. Right? You would have to, yes. Yeah. I would think so. And it's funny. So I know I actually never watched Rebels or Clone Wars. So I'm one of those Star Wars fans who really just did the live action, probably because when that stuff came out, I wasn't really watching anything like that. And yes, it's on Disney Plus now, but we have so much to watch. It's hard.
Well, and it was also during that time that we didn't know what was canon. Disney was acquiring the rights to Star Wars. And then they were like, well, not all the EU is canon. The Dark Horse stuff is not canon now, even though some of the stuff that they wrote were just amazing. And Clone Wars and Rebels was kind of somewhere in the middle. And then they said, oh no, Clone Wars, the cartoon, and Rebels are totally canon. It fits into the continuity. So that stuff really happened. And a lot of people were excited because those were some great shows. Not just if you haven't seen the non-CG one, the animated Clone Wars, that was really cool. That was done by the guy that did Samurai Jack. And
I can recognize that animation. Yeah, for sure.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But Anakin was her master, and she ended up. God, this feels so weird to talk about, because I feel like we're talking about the story of Clone Wars and Rebels, right? We're talking about the show, because if you hadn't seen it, it kind of spoils what happens with her character. So I guess just in case,
I don't care about spoilers.
Well, maybe. Maybe somebody does. So just in case, I'm gonna write a.
Oh, you probably should. If you're watching this and you have not watched Star Wars Rebels or Clone Wars
or care, you know, if you
either, we will have spoilers, obviously. Yes.
Okay, so just to cover my butt here, there we go. All right, now we can talk about it.
Awesome.
Yeah, so within Rebels, you find out that she left before she could become a master, right? Like before she could become a Jedi, she ended up leaving as a Padawan because of the, you know, what ended up happening at Anakin. I don't think that's a spoiler because somebody doesn't know. Yeah,
Anakin
becomes evil, right? But she shows back up in Rebels. I can't remember though. She didn't go by Ahsoka Tano. It was another name that she used in Rebels, and it's been a little while since I saw that. But she shows back up in there, and that's where we see Thrawn, and that's how she gets connected with all these people. And that picture that you see, it's so cool. Like the drawing.
Oh, of all of the rebels together that Sabine's looking at the end of
she's the one that drew it. So
cool.
That's in the show. That's at the end of Rebels. Yes, and Rebels ends with the character of Ezra Bridger and Thrawn just being taken away by space whales and left out
somewhere.
And not sure if they're out there somewhere alive, but that's where this comes in, right? Because this whole journey is like, oh, we're not looking for Luke Skywalker. We're actually looking for Ezra. But we're not really looking for Ezra. That's not the point.
No, it's not.
We're looking for Thrawn.
Because he's still out there. Of course he is. Are the Thrawn or trilogy that was written like in the 1990s, like, are they canon?
So there's a loophole for those that are canon, and that is there was a comic book adaptation that took a lot of that stuff and used it in the Disney comics or in the Marvel comics during the Disney era of Star Wars. So yes, some of it. Is it Fulcrum? Was that her name? Okay, thank you. So some of it is canon. I think they've changed a little bit about his background, but
yeah.
And I think so people were complaining that I think, you know, in this adaptation, the comic adaptation, he's a little less militant and more about action instead of using his mind more. But that's all I've seen. Yeah, so some of it is canon, some of it isn't.
Well, he is very. I just read the Timothy Zahn, the later ones, like 2017 and on. But that's Thrawn's beginnings, and I love those.
Yeah, but that's the origin stuff. That stuff is canon.
Yeah, I love that stuff. That's great because that is very
That's where they find him and they find him, right? Like, don't they find him on the planet and he's all like got long hair and they're like, "What are you?" And he's like, he wants to be taken prisoner, and then the Emperor's like, "Yeah, you can be my right hand man." I'm like, "What? How does this guy move
and he just worked his way up in the Empire like that?" And Eli's his like, I mean, like, I love when I listen to the I know this is really off track, but I listen to the audiobooks and Eli has like this Southern like accent kind of like thing going. I love it. It's great. Hey Phil, how's it going?
Phil, how's everybody doing tonight? So that wasn't the only surprise because Ryder Azadi was in it and he was voiced by Clancy Brown, and I love Clancy Brown and everything. That man is one of the most underrated actors. I don't think he's ever gotten his due, like as far as acting chops. He's been in so many things, and I have loved him in everything. He plays such a good villain. So weird to see him not as a villain in this. But you know, he's in the live action version of this, and so is the guy that he tells him to give a speech. I can't remember his name, but he was also from the Rebel show. So yeah, that's why it really does feel like Rebels season 5.
And I don't
it's
think
a
that's
continuation of that, but I think they're gonna do their own thing too, because they almost have to with the show being named Ahsoka. So
yes, there has to be a focus on her, and I'm figuring out what that focus is going to be, because in the first 2 episodes, I don't feel like she's necessarily the focus of the episodes. It's not really her journey, but it's someone else's journey of growth.
Thank you, Phil. Hard for Thank you. Appreciate that, brother.
So Ahsoka is going to be 8 episodes. So we're 2 out of 8 in already.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what the budget is for it, but they haven't given the amount. But if Kenobi was 90 million and Mandalorian is anywhere from 15 million to 20 million an episode, same with like Andor, it's probably going to be, and given the production quality of it, I'd say somewhere around those amounts. So a fairly big budget for a Disney Plus series. Dave Filoni is the showrunner for this series. He directed the first episode, but he didn't direct the second episode.
And of course, him and Lucas are the people that put the the Clone Wars and Rebels together. So it's really cool that we get to see him come in and do a live action adaptation of this character that was introduced through the anime, and not just her, but a couple of other characters, and maybe some surprises along the way.
Exactly. So so the first episode basically starts us in the middle of action. We have this this New Republic ship, and they are being boarded, or they have a ship that's coming at them. They think is one of their ships, but it turns out to be a Jedi, maybe, but not the Jedi that they think they may be.
Well, but because it was they were using old codes, right? Like, which is something like which goes back to Star Wars Episode 4, that they were using an old code, and that's what you were expecting to get out of this. But yeah, not quite Jedis, not quite Sith. So who are the two people that show up, Amanda?
It's Balin, played by may he rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. So is this his final role that he's done? Yeah. So
I think he did film all 8 episodes, which is a shame because by episode 2, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so good. I'm gonna miss him because that guy's great in everything. Yes, I really like him.
Yeah.
And then his maybe Padawan, because she has the little
I think she is
hair thing, or his daughter, maybe,
or she could be both. She could be his Padawan and his daughter. That's not like something unheard of, right? Where they take, or well, maybe not in Star Wars.
Jedi aren't supposed to do the horizontal.
That's true.
There, so, but he's not Jedi.
He's not Jedi. Is he? Was he? Maybe at one point. Maybe he just has the Force in him, and he just learned on his own. We don't know exactly.
Well, he used to be. Remember, he left at the Clone Wars. He left during the Clone Wars, right after, or right at the beginning of the Order, is when he left the Jedi. So we don't know what his game is. All we know is him and his Padawan, or maybe his daughter, Shin Hati, I think that's her name, right? Mm-hmm. They're gonna go and break out Morgan Elsbeth, who was the character that we saw in Mandalorian. Was it Mandalorian?
Yes, it was Mandalorian.
Where her and Ahsoka Tano were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Mandalorian. It wasn't Book of Boba Fett. I can't remember, but yeah, she was the character that got arrested.
Yeah, it had to. I think it was Mandalorian, because Book of Boba Fett, by that time she'd already found Luke Skywalker, right? So I
think so.
Yes. Yeah. So I think it had to be Mandalorian. Yes. So they are breaking her out because basically she knows about this MacGuffin, this star map, if you will, that Ahsoka is also going after. And that is a map that will lead them to the place where Grand Admiral Thrawn has been banished. Mm-hmm. And maybe Ezra, we don't know, but Ahsoka is kind of, hoping. And she also, when she manages to find the star map, and we're introduced to her robot sidekick, or droid sidekick, Huang, played by David Tennant, which I didn't even realize he was in this until then.
That's the second time he's played a robot companion.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job.
He played a Fugitoid in Ninja Turtles in the 2013 Ninja Turtle series.
Oh, and
Fugitoid.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Fugitoid. So they go and visit one of the generals for the New Republic's armies, and that is Hera Syndulla, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who, fun fact, is also married to Ewan McGregor. So there we go.
Look at all the stars are aligning.
The stars are aligning. Their whole family are just Star Wars family. And she reveals that this is the map that will possibly take them to Grand Admiral Thrawn and also maybe Ezra, but they need someone to help unlock it, which brings us to Sabine Wren, who is on the planet of Lothal, I think is what the planet's called, and she's supposed to be getting recognition and accolades, but she doesn't show up to her own ceremony. She's out doing her own thing, and so we are introduced to Sabine, who's still kind of a rebel herself, and we learn through this episode that she was once an apprentice of Ahsoka's, even though by the time she took her on, Ahsoka was no longer a Jedi. Hey, Raymond, it's been a minute.
Yeah, so that I think happened after Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
Like it had like so it's something that we hadn't seen yet, like where she's taken on her as an apprentice, but she's left her. So some time has passed. Yeah, and I like that part too, where writers asking where is she? Where's Sabine? And she's just out there writing, listening to some rock music that really stood out in this episode, because I thought this episode and the second episode, holy crap, the score is amazing. I don't know if anybody else noticed or agrees, but I was just blown away by the score. It has, oh my gosh, it has so much of that John Williams flair, including the instruments. And I think that's why the rock music, whenever she's riding her bike, like really threw me off a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it kind of fits that character, right? And it also fits the character that she doesn't want to be there, because Ezra's not there. And I think that was that was one of the moments that I did like too, like when she was telling him that everybody was there, but and she says, not everybody.
Not everyone, because Ezra's not there. Yeah. And it did stand out, but it fit her character, so I was okay with it being in there. I wasn't, but
I'm not it definitely stood out more than the rest of the score, just because it had lyrics and it kind of reminded me, I hate to even think about that, the added special edition scene in Return of the Jedi with the dancing chicks in Jabba's palace.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I just have bad memories of that. This music was a lot better. Just that little scene. And she's, she's riding out by herself because she wants to be alone. And then later she finds out that Ahsoka's back, and she has a puzzle that might be the key to finding where Ezra is.
And funny enough, she doesn't tell her it's also could be a map to Thrawn, because she knows how to play to her Padawan's desires. And so she knows that it's just a map to Ezra. We're going to find Ezra. There we go. And of course, that means Sabine not following orders, ends up taking the map, and they do put a tracker on her to go follow her. And in that interim, when she, is able to open up the map and discover its secrets, she is attacked by the same droids who attacked Ahsoka when she was originally trying to get the map in the first place in the beginning of the episode. They come back, and then so does Shin, and they have a lightsaber battle, and she uses Ezra's lightsaber. Is that correct? I had to look
that was Ezra's lightsaber. And what's her name was using... No. That's the fight in the second episode, which I wanted to talk about. But let's go ahead. Let's talk about this one and talk about what the hell is Qui-Gon Jinn thinking the whole time. When somebody gets stabbed, that they're like,
right, and they still survive, right? No,
how far into science did we develop a cure for lightsaber stabbiness? Can somebody throw your boy? A lot of
time had to pass between.
I was so pissed because. Okay, first of all, I thought she died. And I'm like, oh my God. But then the stupid thumbnail for episode 2 had her with short hair, and I'm like, ah!
Oh, wow. They spoiled it for you before you I didn't even realize that. Did it?
So the thumbnail for episode 2 was Sabine and Ahsoka, like, standing there, like, they were just looking at each other, and she's got short hair. So I think it's from the end of the episode. I was like, well, I guess she survived. Damn it.
I thought it would have been really interesting for them to build her character up just to kill her off in the first episode, because I felt like this episode into the second episode was like a mini arc for Sabine, right? And that's how I felt it was her growing and deciding to, come back to the whatever the cause is, even though they've won the war, but there's still another war that could potentially happen, and maybe returning to her studies as a Jedi, even though Ahsoka's not a Jedi technically.
Oh, hold on. He got stabbed more towards the middle, whereas Sabine was stabbed towards the side. I don't know human anatomy well, so I don't know if that makes a difference.
I thought she was stabbed straight in the middle.
I got it.
Was it off to the side? Maybe
I got it. It's because she had more midichlorians than Qui-Gon Jinn. That's why she survived.
Like I said, a lot of time has passed between that episode whatever 4 or whatever it is now.
They're still using women's razors as communicators. Not that much technology has advanced, damn it.
Well, it just goes to show you how good the Empire was then, because they didn't advance technology enough.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about Reva getting stabbed in Kenobi.
Oh yeah,
that's how she died too. Damn it. Qui-Gon Jinn's up there rolling his eyes. Come on now.
No one could die in a Disney Plus Star Wars series. Wait, I take that back. Someone could die, but it just won't be one of our main characters. Unless it's Harrison Ford. So anyways, yes, and that's episode 1, which is called Master and Apprentice. So that's why I believe that Shin is Baylan's apprentice, because I think they're supposed to be a foil to Ahsoka and Sabine's relationship. Right? You have these two like master apprentice relationships, and how they're and then you see it even more in the second episode, which is called Toil and Trouble, and I don't know if that has any significance to anything, but
isn't that the oh my gosh, is it Macbeth?
Yes, it is Macbeth. Yeah.
Isn't that what the 3 statues were? Like kind of like a throwback to that at the very beginning in that temple?
There we go.
Maybe, I don't know.
That would make sense if it was. But yes, in the second episode, they've obviously, Ahsoka did make it in time, so they were able to save Sabine. She's recovering from her injury. And in the meantime, Ahsoka and Hera are trying to, figure out where Baylan and Shin may have absconded with this map. And they have already given that map to Morgan Elsbeth, who is able to unlock it, find out the location of Thrawn, but they basically need to get the hyperdrive ring working so that they can go ahead and make it to wherever they need to go, which is very far out, right? And so this whole episode is mainly Ahsoka and Hera. God, I hate saying that name. Trying to track them down
every time, and it throws me off. I'm like,
trying to track them down, while Sabine is struggling with the idea of maybe becoming Ahsoka's apprentice again. And she has a very interesting conversation with Huang, and he's like, I don't think you're all that good anyways. Like, he kind of does that reverse psychology on her, and she eventually does decide to join the fight. Go ahead.
No, this is a really good point. Ahsoka is known to have some force healing or repairing ability, while Obi-Wan was not a healer and couldn't save Qui-Gon. Poor Obi-Wan. Poor Qui-Gon.
No, he got to see him in the end. In the Force. I don't know.
I can't remember. Did he show up?
No.
Oh my God, I don't remember Kenobi.
I just imagine. No, he hung out with him in Kenobi. He gets to see.
Was Qui-Gon Jinn in Kenobi?
I thought he was.
Are you fanficking this or is that the one? Did that really happen? I just remember not liking Kenobi that much.
I thought he heard his master. I don't remember because he was trying to hear him. I thought he heard at the end. Am I like?
I think I wanted to see.
I want that to happen.
Did that happen?
I don't know.
How much fun did you have?
It's been a while since I watched.
Okay, he did show up in Kenobi. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you. Okay, I was not crazy. I don't fanfic Star Wars, so that would have been a real stretch for me.
I'm glad he showed up. Then it was well worth the time I spent watching Kenobi.
Yes.
Viva Peru, carajo! Thank you for that, Jack Ferry. All right, Amanda, take us through episode 2.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so in episode 2, they have Ahsoka and Hera go to this this one transport location to try to track them down, and they realize that the people overseeing it are really loyal to the Empire still, and that results in a fight between them and these people who are, in charge of this area, where they're trying to locate where Baylan and Shin and Morgan Elsbeth could have gone. And of course, they're able to defeat them, and they take them away. And and Hera has a nice little fight scene in her ship, and Ahsoka has to use her, of course, lightsabers again in the daylight, even though they're white lightsabers.
I'm so sorry, I couldn't remember. That show didn't leave an impact on me, although the fight between Vader and Obi-Wan was awesome. But yeah,
it was probably the best part of that.
That and Flea showing up. Chopper, yes, man. I'm sorry, go ahead, Panda. Let's keep going with episode 2, and then we can talk about the things we liked and didn't work for us. And I'm curious about your thoughts coming in from somebody that hasn't watched Rebels, what you think about the series.
Yeah, exactly. And we also have, while Sabine, which I didn't realize she was a Mandalorian, which now the Mandalorian lore is so much, you could be from this sect and this sect, and
but you saw her with the helmet and the outfit, right? You saw it by the end.
Yes, I saw it by the end. Well, because they told you, in the beginning, Harry even said, well, she called her stubborn. And she's like, well, you did, she's a Mandalorian. And I was like, wait, what? Because I didn't know she was Mandalorian. So now I do know.
Now you know going into the show.
Yes. So essentially that's what happens. They are, and then Morgan, Elsbeth, they're on their way to find Grand Admiral Thrawn. But there's also this interesting this interesting dialogue between Shin and Baylan, and talking about Grand Admiral Thrawn's return. And she's like, do we really want that though? And that leads me to believe that, is there doubt in Shin as far as what her master's goals are? Does she agree with him? Does she agree with Morgan Elsbeth? So that's something that we'll probably see shape itself out with the remaining episodes, is what direction Shin goes in as this series progresses.
I like her character. I like her character, and I really like Baylan. I think
I do like him too.
They make for interesting characters because they're neither Sith nor Jedi, so they're kind of somewhere in the middle, right? So they're not buying everything that everybody else is, right? You just had the fall of the Empire, and now things are starting to pick up, and there's people that are still worshiping the Empire because that's just the way people are. But I really like both of their, and her fight was awesome. Her fight against Sabine.
Yeah.
And I love the throwback to Darth Maul, with the little voice that she sends out, in episode 1. Despite of how people feel about episode 1, I always thought Darth Maul was awesome, and the little droids that he used were so cool.
Everyone's favorite in episode 1.
So I'm really curious about where that's going to go and what their end goal is.
Yeah, I don't know what their end goal is, because we don't know if they're really Sith, or if they're just fallen Jedi, or if he's just a fallen Jedi and she's his apprentice. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know what their path is going to be and what's going to look like at the end.
Okay. In episode 2, I'm trying to remember who it is, and I cannot find it. I only got I saw episode 1 twice and episode 2 just one time. Who does she fight? Who does Ahsoka fight?
In episode 2, the Inquisitor, Marok, I think is
Marok,
his name.
that's it.
Yes, Marok, yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was such a cool fight, because the special effects in this, and they come they're very hit and miss. Some of them are awesome. Some of them are great, the way it looks and the flow of the droids. They look awesome. But that fight was really cool. And when he just gets his saber back, she just moves to the side as he's flying off. That was awesome. I don't know, where things are gonna go. I really hope they go deep with the plot in this, because Star Wars needs something. Like, it was nice to see 2 freaking lightsaber fights within the first 15 minutes of the first episode. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So I was really happy to see that. And like I said, some of it was just looked great. It was the thing that they did with the faraway shots whenever she was about to fall into the circle, which was a cool strategy, right? Like, she falls in and then she cuts a hole to get those droids down. But whenever she was backing up and they did a faraway shot, oh my gosh, that looked so green screen. Like, it was so bad.
Yeah.
I wish they had just stuck to close-ups to the practical effects, like in the old school days, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And trick of the camera, so you don't have to have this huge faraway shot.
Yeah.
But a lot of the fighting is choreographed really well. I thought it was good. Like, the action at the beginning was awesome. In that first opening scene, whenever Balon and oh gosh, she just slipped my name. Shin. Yeah, whenever they're walking and they find out that they're not Jedi, and they just start cutting people left there. That is very reminiscent of Rogue One.
Yeah.
Like Vader in Rogue One, right? The hallway scenes and everything. Like, Balon's like controlling some of the blasters, so some people are shooting themselves with their own blasters. By the way, that was the captain of that ship was played by Mark Rolston, who plays one of the best characters in Aliens, and that's Drake. So it was really cool to see him here. He's a lot older, of course.
Yeah.
But I think there was a girl from Glow in it. She played one of the people on that ship too. The end goal is to sell costume merch for Halloween.
Thank you, Jack Berry.
Thank you for that, Jack Berry.
Dude, probably another Hocus Pocus movie.
That was what? Just throw Hocus Pocus in there. That was really cool to see that throwback to the Rebels line, where she said, when she admits that she's not a Jedi. Like, whenever it was the fight with Vader, and Vader's like, "That's not the Jedi way." And she's like, "I'm no Jedi." That was so cool that they used it here when it was Balon that said, I think he says, "We are no Jedi," or
we are no Jedi. Yeah. And he has an orange lightsaber. It wasn't red, right?
No.
Yeah. It doesn't look red. Okay. Yeah. Which I thought was cool. I didn't realize we had orange lightsabers. So.
Yeah. I miss the lightsaber fights too.
Yeah.
As much as I
with like blasters.
What was Andor, right? As much as I love Andor is a completely different show than this is.
And it needed to be.
Oh, it's so good. That's still probably my favorite Star Wars show that's come out. So excellent.
Yeah. The only problems I had with the fight scenes the saber scenes with Ahsoka was that in both scenes, she has white lightsabers and the backdrop is white. Like, it's very white. So and when you have lightsabers, I felt like you want to play up the fact that they're lightsabers, right? That's why some of those scenes we've seen in previous Star Wars where they're in the dark and you see the light, like, it's really cool, right? So you're hoping to see that, more contrast with the colors. So that was the only thing I was like, I wish they didn't make her fight against a white backdrop all the time with her white sabers. Maybe just, maybe there's like a dark area that she could fight in, or a backdrop that's not white. But I know that these planets are mostly like sand and stuff. So it is what it is.
Mostly like sand and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But what did you think of the episodes as a whole? Like, both episodes coming in from somebody that had not watched Rebels, right? Or Clone Wars, the TV show. Were you confused? Were you like, I guess that's something important? Like, there were shots that were taken like from Rebels that mean a lot, that can foreshadow things that are to come. But I feel like, I don't know, you don't need to really know that, right? Like, I think you kind of, you can you can read the scene by just with the tone of the music and the way that it's shot. What did you think?
Yeah, no. So obviously there are things, because I've read up on it because I enjoy reading about the lore, but I have not watched them. So yeah, those particular things I wouldn't know. I don't really know much about Sabine and Ahsoka's relationship, or Harris and Dula. I don't know much about them at all. So going into it, if you are someone who is not familiar with this, it's not one of those, like, you eventually, I'm assuming, they assume that you already know their relationships. You already know how, like, and they do a good job of showing how close like Sabine would have been to Ezra and how much it would mean to her. Like they do a good job of showing that maybe I don't need their entire history and relevant, like to be relevant to the fact that they are close together and, or that they are, you know, that they're close and they were close at one point. And same with Ahsoka and Sabine. I honestly need to know their entire history because the way they are written and the way they interact, it is clear, and the way they act and the way they interact, it is clear that there is, you know, some issues they've had in the past, some things they're dealing with that is causing them to be at odds with one another. So do I need to know that stuff? I don't know. I don't think so, because I know at the end it doesn't matter because she's still going to go off with her at the end of episode 2 and they're going to have their own journey together from this point forward. So I don't know if it really is necessary for me to know that in order to enjoy the story, if that makes sense. Now there's things that probably there were things that that went over my head that I would, as someone who's never watched Rebels, I was like, I think that's probably significant if you watch Rebels, but it wouldn't be to me. And so I can imagine if someone who just is like a casual Star Wars fan, maybe he's only seen the movies, if they're like, oh, it's a Star Wars show, I'll watch it, they may find themselves a little lost if that was the case, because there are things you're just supposed to know because it is a continuation of Rebels, and they don't, and of course we don't want them to explain in the show, right? We don't want them to explain, we want them to show and not tell. So they do, for what it matters as far as relationships and what those relationships mean, they do a good job of showing that. So for me, that's enough. If I was a, you know, casual fan that didn't even look up wikis, I don't know how I would feel if I was that person. And that's just what it is, right? You know, because you don't know who's gonna be watching these. It's not just gonna be the hardcore Star Wars fans and stuff, but someone who decides they need something to watch on a rainy Saturday afternoon and they throw on Ahsoka because they said, that's Star Wars. Maybe I'll like it.
That's a very descriptive Saturday afternoon you're having.
Yeah, no, right?
Box wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I thought about this when I was watching the first 2 episodes, and I thought, oh man, wonder if people are going to be lost, and if that's going to be one of the biggest complaints, like I can't enjoy this because there's just so much. And Star Wars started in episode 4.
Technically, yeah.
Like you're in the middle of a story when Star Wars starts. It's not like people back then were like, oh shit, where's episodes 1, 2, and 3? Did I miss that? Like, what is this? Were they called something else?
Yeah.
So I find it really interesting that now we live in an age of, internet. People can look it up. But back then, people were like, episode 4, where's episodes 1, 2, and 3? Like, we didn't know any better. Like, when these things were coming out, episode 5 and then episode 6, and we didn't know we didn't even know they were ever going to do an episode 1, 2, and 3, and then 7, 8, 9, and look where we are now. So I was like, oh, yeah, I think people will be fine, because I think the show itself will make people go and reach out and try to watch those things, or at least try to watch episodes with the characters in it. Maybe the final episode of Rebels to kind of see what the status quo is from that moment until this starting.
But I also watch the diminishing viewership of Marvel shows, which expect people to know what's going on in the MCU. So that's why my fear is, okay, are the casual
but is that really the diminishing because of
it could be a combination
connected, or is everything just bad?
Yeah, it could be a combination, because like for me, like Mandalorian really does stand, like, it, while there is the lore, it's all about it's creating this, it's really exploring the Mandalorian lore way more than it would have than the other stuff has done. So it is like its own thing. And even I think Andor does a really good job of very much explaining it. If you've seen episodes 4, 5, and 6, you know what the rebels are going through, and this is just a part of that. But it's when you start adding in all the cartoon or all the animated series and stuff, that's where I think you lose some of the more casual fans. That's the only thing I can see happening.
That's it. That's interesting, because we don't have a Star Wars movie coming out, so I figured now would be a good time to have a Star Wars type of show.
Exactly. But no, I mean, other than that, and I found it to be, I enjoyed it. I found Ahsoka's character to be the least exciting character of everyone in the show, which, considering it's her show and it's named after her, I know she's supposed to be this more wizened character, but so is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And still, when the way they write Obi-Wan, he's still a very, well, maybe, I don't know. Thinking back to Kenobi, was he as charismatic as he was in previous iterations? Maybe not, but I was more interested in seeing like Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Hera. I really loved her portrayal of her. I thought she was very compelling on screen, and same with Sabine. But then Ahsoka was just, I felt like she was the least interesting character, and that could change as we move forward. But in the first 2 episodes, I felt like she was just there to advance our plot more so than it being about her. Does that make sense? Like it's her mission to find Thrawn. It's not about her growth, right? I guess she's already grown in previous things. She's already grown in Rebels. She's already grown in Clone Wars. So now it's about Sabine growing, or, you know what I mean? Does that, like, where's her character going to go? Like, what is her character going to do? Grow, motivate? What's that going to look like? Or is she just going to be this? Yeah, go ahead.
It's like Chandler and Monica when they got married, right? Like, where are they going to go?
Yeah, where do they go from there? Yeah, they tried to make it interesting. That's a really good point. Yeah.
No. My point is like, once you get to a certain, because the story arc of her, she's the Padawan, and everybody that had watched Star Wars was like, oh, well, this is going to suck for her in a couple of years when she finds out that her master's the one that killed all those kids that she's, been around with. Like, yeah. And then she grew, and when she came back in Rebels, she was a little more, a little less, well, yeah, she had grown, right? She had grown up some, and now she's determined to go and find Thrawn, and that's her mission. I mean, but Jedis in a way have never been the most exciting characters in any of the movies, right?
No.
People gravitated towards Mace Windu got flown out the window with the purple lightsaber and everything. Most people gravitated towards Han Solo or Poe Dameron.
Maybe, but how many people loved Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi? There's a reason why they gave him his own show. It was not just because
no. First of all, that role did not belong to Ewan McGregor. That role originated
but if
Ewan McGregor by that point was just mimicking the character that was created. But I know what you're saying, but that character had a fan following long before.
Okay, but not to me. I've
okay. There are definitely
I started watching Star Wars with episode 1.
Did you just come up with that, dude? I ain't never heard that.
Right, that's good. I've never seen that before. No, I mean, I grew up with 1, 2, and 3, not 4, 5, and 6, because
okay. So to a whole generation, then yes, Ewan McGregor was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes, and I thought
and to be fair, played it a lot longer.
But he was very wonderful. He was, to me, the standout in those films, and he was a Jedi. That's all I'm saying.
More so than I Hate Sand? Come on.
I can still think I Hate Sand was cute. I liked him in Life
it was awful. It was not cute at all.
Anyways, all I'm saying is I get what you're saying, that Jedi, because they're not supposed to be interesting, but they are, because if they weren't, then Yoda wouldn't be as of a pivotal character. Like, people wouldn't be like, wouldn't love that character if he wasn't like interesting, right? It's not like he was eccentric in 4, 5, 6. Yes, he was sitting in a swamp, kind of, whatever. But people wouldn't have related to him if he wasn't charismatic. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
that's what I mean.
There's truth and validity to what you're saying. I forgot that Alec McGinnis was not the only Obi-Wan,
but he was also, people also liked him too. I mean,
because he was the wise old guy in that movie.
But he wasn't stiff though. That's the thing. Like, with her, I feel like there's no personality into her character.
Oh, Alec McGinnis is like Obi-Wan. I mean,
he had personality.
It was a little stiff. Yeah, he complained about the dialogue he had to say,
well,
but
yeah,
just because it was Alec McGinnis, he had to.
Yeah, because of and I know she can only work with what she's given, or the direction she is told to work in. But
I heard a really good Alec McGinnis story too that I wanted to share. Damn it. But I cannot remember the middle part. I just remember the ending and why he turned to Christianity. Because he was wearing his Obi-Wan Kenobi outfit and a child held his hands and thought he was a priest. And it led him to go back to church. It was a really cool story. But there's a part in the middle that really, really Ewan's Obi-Wan was a young master before tragedy.
True.
Ahsoka had been through so much, it makes sense. Yeah. And that's what I think. Like, I kind of compare her to old Ben Kenobi, right?
I can see that.
Just because she's gone through a lot.
But I still, and maybe it's because her character, while she gets great fight scenes in the first 2 episodes, she's really not given much except telling people what to do next and where to go.
Oh, yeah. And it becomes
not like
her show and more of a show about everybody else.
Even though it's named Ahsoka. So I was like, okay, so what's going to be her trajectory in her own show? That's what I want to see. Because because even Mandalorian, we see like even he has growth in his own show, and he's in a helmet, and he's also not exactly.
At least it's not Boba Fett where it became Mandalorian 2.5.
That's true. I'm just saying.
I think we should be used to other people hijacking these shows. I mean, if you think about the excitement over Ben Kenobi, or I'm sorry, Obi-Wan, a lot of people like you were probably excited for Ewan McGregor coming back, but a lot more people, I bet, were excited to have Darth Vader back, in a live action role, voiced by James Earl Jones for the last time, right before he sold his voice, and Hayden Christensen. Even people that hated him in those roles were like, "Oh, that's cool. They got the guy to come back and be in the suit." So that's
a funny thing like cool. That. Makes
so even that hijacked Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? Like it
did, yes.
So much so that the original idea, I remember, was to have oh my gosh, Darth Maul was going to be the original baddie in that, and then they were like, nope, we just got Hayden back. Sorry.
Oh, and it's going to be all about Leia. Well, and that was like one of the problems we had with Kenobi too. It was about it, like we felt like his character didn't. I mean, even when he did have his great one final fight scene, right? But I think everyone was expecting more from his character. And that's why I think I was with Ahsoka. I was really curious because when she comes in with Mandalorian and Boba Fett 2.5, or Mandalorian season 2.5, she is like a different character in those episodes to me than she is in this first 2 episodes.
Well, and she was also in smaller roles there, right? Like
yes, exactly.
So this was really your first time seeing her like in her own thing, like outside of those 2 appearances.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, stoic, wise, the adult in the room, right? I think that's definitely the role that she's playing here. Hayden is the greatest of all time. All right, man.
I love it. Nostalgia is a funny thing, man. I mean,
people will make fun of
how great Adam Driver's Kylo Ren is.
What's that?
I said in 10-15 years, everyone will be talking about how they miss Kylo Ren and Adam Driver's portrayal of it.
Yeah, people are quick to change opinions too. And no matter what people are thinking now, later on, yeah, you're right. In 10 years' time, it's going to be so different.
Yeah.
Okay. So besides her stoic ways, what did not work for you here? Oh, and you mentioned that it was a little confusing too.
Yeah, I mean, and just in the sense of, yes, because I'm not familiar with the Rebels lore, I had to kind of, look some things up afterwards to make sure I understood exactly like the significance of relationships and things like that. So that might have been a little bit confusing for me, but not that it would have deterred my enjoyment of the actual episodes themselves. Because at the end of the day, I did really enjoy the episodes, particularly because I liked Sabine Wren, and I also liked Hera Syndulla. I liked Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character, and I really like Balin.
Yeah,
and I miss Ray Stevenson, and that's going to be hard. But yeah, I really like his bad guy villain. If he is the villain, I'm not really sure if it's Morgan. I don't know. Well, because even when he's talking to Morgan, he starts talking about the what is it? The path of, it starts with the P. I don't remember. The path of Perdia, I think is what it is. And he's like, oh, it's a lore that the children at the Jedi Temple would say. And she was like, oh, some lore is based in fact, or all that stuff, or some myth is based in fact. And there's something about him, even when he talks about how he can feel Ahsoka and stuff like that in the Force. And I don't know. I mean, he's a great actor. So, but there's something I like about him and his character. And I really want to see what happens with his character.
Definitely the way that he carries the character has has this stance about him that it's like he's kind of borderline good, and but he'll cut a motherfucker up if he has to,
Exactly.
Which is exactly what he does if they're staying in his way. Rosario in the Alexander the Great movie. Okay, Jack Berry.
People still remember that movie?
I don't remember that movie. Alexander the Great.
It was with Colin Farrell. You're talking about the Colin Farrell movie, right?
Oh yeah, that's where that stopped.
Where Angela what's her name, played his mom?
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie played his mom, didn't she?
I thought she played Brad Pitt's mom in Troy. That might be something else.
Oh,
I'm getting these movies.
Yeah, you're getting all of your Greek and Roman history movies confused.
No, I'm just getting the movies mixed up. I'm just getting the movies mixed up. All right. So, was there anything else that did not work for you in this show?
Just I was trying to think. I'm looking at my notes. There were some scenes where I thought the lighting was too dark.
The lighting.
It was in the first episode where I noticed the most. Not when she's in the cave looking for the map, because obviously that is a good setting where you want it to be dark. But I was like on my phone, and I also was on my my TV watching it, and it was when Sabine's in the ship after she had fled with the map, and it was so dark in there, and I was like, is my brightness down? Do I need to turn my brightness up? So there we go. Some of the lighting, I guess, could have fixed. Oh, and maybe not use white backdrops every time we want to use Ahsoka's white lightsabers. Really make them pop, man. I mean, if we're gonna have that color, that's a cool color. Let's make it pop.
Don't like have a purple sky like you have right here.
Like we have, like that'd be cool.
We're talking about different planets, so let's get crazy. Let's get wild.
They could have fought inside. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of the things that I didn't like in this. I thought some scenes went on a little too long, like whenever she's trying to solve the puzzle. Like I thought, oh, we know where this is going. Let's just solve the puzzle and cut to the fighting, please. I missed the lightsaber fights already. I thought let me see. Was anybody miscast? I don't know. I thought she did a good job as the Rosario Dawson as this character. She's a badass, and not a lot of.
I don't think anyone was miscast in this at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I really like the lady that played Sabine, and even though I love the voice actress, that's the thing. Whenever you go from animation to this, it's going to take you back. It's going to be
someone mentioned like Ashley Eckstein, right?
It's definitely it's going to be jarring, right?
Yeah.
Some people are going to be played by different actors, and it's always like that.
That's how it felt when I had to see Emma Watson play Belle instead of Jodie Benson, but she's also an older lady now. So,
yes, me too.
I know you agree with that.
I can wait to see who that third Sith is, the one that battled.
Oh yeah,
the one that absolutely, positively, definitely is not. That's what I think too. Jeff is gonna go.
That's probably.
Wherever Thrawn is, Ezra's gone bad, and that's who's wearing the helmet. And
gotta be right.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know where these Star Wars shows are gonna go. I'd like for them to do something else.
Darth Sidious, or no, Darth. Yes, Darth. No, what's his name? Yes, no.
Keep going.
God.
Darth Sidious.
Which Darth Sidious is never mind. No, which is Kylo Ren's guy. What's that guy's name? I forget.
Kylo Ren's
master, the one that they kill in the
Snoke?
Yes, at first. No, I'm just kidding. It's not him, but maybe it's all gonna tie in, just like they tied in the cloning stuff in Andor. They decided we had to add that thing in to make the Emperor come back to life make sense. Or Palpatine.
Yeah, and I'm sure Rex will show up. We got Chopper, right? And that was really cool to see Hera and Chopper together again. So you never know who's gonna end up showing up. And that's the thing, right? For this show, do I really like? Part of me is like, ooh, let's have more Rebels things in here. And then part of me is like, but it's her show. I kind of want to see where this goes. And if it's just going to be about her and Thrawn, then let's focus on that, because then it can just get so ridiculously big that we lose focus on what we have, which was the biggest issue I had with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Princess Leia getting kidnapped by Flea.
Oh, God.
I want to see Obi-Wan fighting freaking Darth Vader. That's why I signed up for this.
Yep,
like,
exactly.
And I know that, fans always complain when we don't get what we want, which is why a lot of people did not like episodes 7, 8, and 9, or episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
But it's just like, but if you have the actor back, why not use it as much as possible?
100%.
Though it would be great to see Obi-Wan Kenobi back in it. Well, during this time, he's
gone, right?
Yeah, he's a ghost.
He's
maybe with the Force, right? Maybe with the Force.
Will he talk to Ahsoka? They knew each other.
Or will she talk to Anakin? Right? Because by the end of episode 6, he was pure again. Oh my God, especially if they go with the special edition version where they replace the original actor with Hayden. So, I mean, they very well could do that. Then she could talk to him and she's going to be like, what happened to you?
Well, I was trying to think of when they were filming this and when they filmed Kenobi, and I was like, I mean, if he was already there, like in costume.
Is that what you're thinking? Okay.
Let's just throw him in there, man.
Ezra in the Other Galaxy is definitely not traveling under the tutelage of an evil Jedi. Is classic. Filoni misdirection. I just think instead of doing another galaxy, could it open up the door to like another timeline? And that's why they can't find Thrawn or Ezra. And that would be really cool, because if they do another timeline, then they could do things that we hadn't really seen in Star Wars live action yet. And that's time travel, right? Which is ridiculous because it's a trope that's used in everything. But then you can get your Anakin, or you can get your Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan. But could you tell he's a ghost if the lighting is that? Maybe Amanda needs to fix the settings on her television.
He's going to show up as a ghost. It just depends on where he showed up.
Maybe Amanda just needs to fix the settings on the television.
I tried. I did.
There's my dude. Where you been, man? Mid. Not as good as She-Hulk. You know how Roberto Rodriguez loves him some She-Hulk. Once you set that bar that high, though, man,
you gotta do it.
I thought they did a time travel thing, not in live action. I said live action.
Oh boy.
I think that I think they should do a Kenobi season 2. Oh, okay, that's what you think.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if they do that.
I think the last thing I heard about that was Kathleen Kennedy was like, "Well, it's up to the fans," and by that means like, go and watch season 1. I don't know. The music worked for me. I thought the acting was on point. I think it moved a little slower than I wanted to, and I just talked about how freaking awesome the lightsaber fights were. The plot is okay. We're looking for, you're right. We have a MacGuffin. We need to find it, and then we need to find Thrawn. And I don't want them to find Thrawn in episode 8, so he just shows up for like a little bit. I want them to like move on with the plot. We have 8 episodes, and I hope it's more Mando season 1, less Mando season 3. If that makes 100%. Sense.
Yes, and because as soon as I saw the map, I said, "Oh, just like in Rise of Skywalker, we were looking the map to find the way to this thing, and then it turns out to be Emperor Palpatine's clones." Or in Indiana Jones, we have to have a map to find the dial to get us back in time. I'm spoiling it for Omar, but he'll watch it eventually. I was like, "Oh,
what?
I love these map tropes." I gotta love
Mirror Universe Star Wars Omars. How do you not notice Mirror Universe Evil Chewbacca? Well, we do have a Black Chrysanthemum running around in where was he? Book of Boba Fett, I think.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, they find Ezra, give him a lightsaber, throws it to the ground, and start drinking green milk directly from the space cow. Funny. That was funny.
That's good.
I did not like that movie. To later die from exhaustion. Did he die? Oh my gosh, that pissed me off so much. Anyway, no, I'm not gonna focus on that. The evil droid sounded like Kylo when they said the map.
Interesting.
Okay, so without further ado, anybody that has seen episodes 1 and 2 of Ahsoka and Amanda, ladies first, what would you give the first 2 episodes, and then we can come back and do a review like the whole thing. We have a map for Luke Skywalker. I thought about that.
A map for Exegol. Thank you, Exegol. That's the place they're looking for. Who's building? Question, Spencer. Who's building all these maps in the Star Wars universe? Like,
why would you ask that question?
Like, did Thrawn build this map to his banishment? But I thought, like, then I was like, do I need to go back and watch Star Wars Rebels and find out where he was banished to? Was he banished? Because it doesn't sound like there was a definitive.
No, I just told you a bunch of space whales, non-Star Trek ones.
Who made the map to show you where he goes to after that?
Freaking space whales, which I cannot remember what they called.
Just things like that. It's just like, oh, maybe I need to stop logic. Because I was like, who's making all these maps, man?
Maybe I should just stop logic.
Stop logicking myself.
I would be exhausted in the Lucasverse if I was professional map making in the franchise. First episode was better because of the Shin fight. Yeah, she was great. For anybody that's seen it, and ladies first, out of 10, what would you give the first 2 episodes of
Ahsoka? I think I'd give them a 7 out of 10. So with room to
Purgles. I'm sorry, that's what they're called. The big space whales were called Purgles. Thank you, Bruce Willis.
They make the map.
They don't have opposable thumbs.
I'm sorry. If he's so powerful as he is, why would he need someone else to come rescue him?
You're really caught up on that, aren't you?
I'm just saying. Maybe for the map trope alone, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because
7 out of 10.
Can we find another way to get Admiral Thrawn without it being a map that leads to him? And
a map is the easiest, most fun. Like, have you not learned anything from Goonies? That is the perfect adventure.
Yes. But it works for Goonies.
Roberto Rodriguez gives it a 4.5 out of 10. Woo! 7 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. 7. I haven't rated it yet. I just realized that.
What did you give him?
No, I give it a 7 out of 10. It's fun. I liked aspects of it. I don't know. It can go downhill quick. But it can also surprise me. The special effects were solid outside of some of the green screen usage in that first episode. I didn't really notice it that much on the second one. Choreography was great. I didn't really mind the lighting that much, except for the scene in episode 2 where it's the fight. It's like right before the fight with what's the character's name again? The one with the lightsaber. Yeah, right before that. But the use of practical effects, especially with the ships, goes back to like watching the Death Star, the destroyer, showing up in episode 4 and episode 6. I like that.
Yeah, I really thought the production quality, I mean, given the amount of money they probably spent on it, and we've seen it before in some of these where I'm like, oh, wow, that's CGI. Even though you spent a lot of money on this, what were you spending your money on? So, yeah, they really took their time with this. So that was good. At least the first 2 episodes.
7 out of 10. Pacing seems slower than expected.
Pacing was
we got 8 episodes, right? So we got a little while to go. 7.5, 8.
But like you said, not too slow because we don't want to wait till episode 8 for Thrawn to show up or Ezra. And we already know they've cast Ezra, right? So we know that they already have an actor.
Well, because he was in the hologram, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we have an actor. So
10 out of 10. It's got action. It's got new characters, and it's got old characters, definitely.
Yes, it does.
That's good, man. I like that. 8 out of 10. Music, dude. I think my favorite thing about this was the music. I dug the score. It was so good. I think is the volume thing instead of a green screen. I may be wrong. Maybe because then they build that thing for the Mandalorian, right? It's like a 360-degree, almost like green screen.
They film a lot of their stuff there.
Yeah,
Disney, Lucasfilms, whoever does. Yeah.
8 out of 10. 7 out of 10. This better than The Last Jedi. What's the last? No, I did not like that movie, but I respect the people that do. People loved it.
I mean, it's hard to say. It's only 2 episodes and it's not a complete story yet, Mike. So I can't really say if it's. Let's come back to us at the end of the 8 episodes when it's a full complete story and we have some resolution, maybe. And
with Leader Snoke showing back up.
Leader Snoke showing. And someone will come in and start talking about cloning at the end of episode 8, and everything will suddenly start to connect.
I should have given it an unnecessary dramatic pause out of 10. That is the way these the dialogue is between the characters. It's like there's this weird pause, and I don't know if that's a direction, like if that's direction, or if that's. Well, I mean, Lucas is notorious for writing some really long, boring dialogue. No, I know, but maybe that's part of the charm in this. Because I mean, we're still used.
Yeah.
For God's sakes, every Star Wars show and movie still uses the stupid swipes we used in the 70s, just as an homage to the classics, right? We haven't moved from that. So I think the shots, I don't know. Yeah, but I noticed that too. I want to see Maul again. Or is he already dead? He came back as a spider. That's all I will say. See Filoni make another series surrounding a map and a quest, the Atlas of Star Wars in the wastebasket. What I loved is how much the expanded universe was incorporated into the show. Yeah. That plus this takes place concurrently with Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorians. No more Snoke. No, he got chopped in half.
Yeah.
He ain't coming back. Children playing in the backyard with action figures making stories is better than The Last Jedi.
Dang.
You know, there are people that love it, though. I remember walking out of the theater and, like, the people Amanda and I went to go see it with, they were like, that was amazing. And I think my brother's one of them, but he's not like a Star Wars guy. He doesn't live and breathe Star Wars. He hasn't seen everything. So I think that's why he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was just like, I was like, that's one of the best and worst Star Wars movies I've ever seen. And I don't know what it's doing to my brain because there was so much I hated, but that fight scene in the throne room has to be the best fight scene in any Star Wars movie.
That was a great fight scene.
That was amazing. I hated what happened, but
I was never sad about seeing Adam Driver half naked on screen.
Let me tell you, dude,
made me sad.
I will never forget. Like, that's another thing that time just showed. Like, when that first movie came out, not A New Hope, I'm sorry. The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
The memes that were everywhere about Adam Driver taking off his helmet. And like the memes were like, oh my God, put it back on. Leave your helmet on, please. Like people are just so mean, right? Because he's not conventionally good looking guy.
He's not Brad Pitt,
but
plastic surgery.
By the time the second movie came out, all the memes were about Ben Swallow. Look how thick he is. Like, wow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so funny how people just.
It is funny. Yeah.
Like sound like you need to have a was it really that bad?
No, we've never done one for any Star Wars film. Wait, did we do one for the second movie? Just so we could talk about the sand?
We did Star Wars episode 2. We
did do that one.
It wasn't really that bad because that one was ranked the lowest out of the Star Wars prequel. But we
haven't done a Star Wars in a while for either one. Was it really that good?
Dude, I have only seen Star Wars episodes 8 and 9 one time, and that was in the theater.
Same.
I mean, I could change my mind again.
Skywalker. I felt like that.
Dude, the sequel trilogy to me was a shit sandwich. It was like, here we have something, so stick with it. Nope. Somebody else comes along and has another vision, which is okay. But then the same guy that started the vision came back and was like,
we're gonna do
what I didn't want it to do. And oh man, it was just like
Palpatine's. Yeah, I'm sorry. That to me, that might be my least favorite film, just because
my issue were like people were silly. They were complaining about they were like, well, they didn't even explain how the Emperor's back. And I'm like, did you miss the movie called Attack of the Goddamn Clones? It's in Star Wars lore. I think you can put 2 and 2 together. That's the least of my problems. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know which, like if Rise of Skywalker or Last Jedi was worse, but I'm not a fan of
Ooh,
either.
What about an episode which was worse? We watch both of them and we make our decision.
All right, we better be running out of episodes. I think you guys should you rewatch Last Jedi for Was It Really That Bad? Oh, how about Was It Really That Bad? The Rogue One. By the way, I enjoyed. See, I didn't.
Oh,
I know
I
Amanda
like
did.
Rogue One. That would be for me. Would be Was It Really That Good?
Yeah, I did not like Rogue One. I think I'm one of the few people that didn't. I think most people really like that movie.
I did
like
it.
I love Andor. I think Andor is so good. I may rewatch Rogue One again though to kind of give it a fair shot. Daisy Ridley Ray, cool though.
And she's getting her own spin-off movie, I think.
Oh, she swore Star Wars off. The money talks, I swear.
Money talks, like we always know.
The reason I liked Last Jedi is because Force Awakens was a copy.
Yeah, it was.
But I mean, is that bad though to be a copy and paste? I don't think that's bad.
I don't know, but
I think Last Jedi just went
in a new direction.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. But once you set the bar, or once you set where things are gonna go, and Finn is just like, I'm force sensitive, and she's
that's disappointing on the whole Finn part. I feel like they really shafted his character. Oh, they shafted a lot of characters. By the end of that, there's a lot of characters who, like, even Poe Dameron's character was kind of shafted a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know.
Had that scene at the end where they kiss, and that was good for me. I was happy about that. I know no one else is.
I think I was done.
But I definitely shipped the two of them, like, in a low-key way. Because I like
maybe I remember. Did she say something like, I'm every Jedi? Something like that. Like she hears the voices of the Jedi. Maybe Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, she heard all of them. Yeah.
I said, what did Mars Wallace look like? Oh my God. What was the line that he said? Yeah, I think like there was like lines from like Obi-Wan, like Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan. And when she says, I am every Jedi. Oh my gosh. Because maybe we need to rewatch it.
We do. I think so.
Rogue One is a very bland movie with a very strong last 5 minutes.
Those last 5 minutes are intense. I'll give you
My problem with Rogue One is I felt like there was a different movie in there and they gutted it. I don't know why. And it's I know. I remember it was because of the trailer. Those trailers showed a different type of movie that we got when we were in the theater. It was like they re-edited and recut. I don't know. I just didn't like it for some reason. And I need to give it another shot because people really love that one. For a second, I thought Dumbo Kyle was going to take wow, Dumbo Kyle runway with those propellers.
That big. That's when I look at his face. That's not the first thing that sticks out to me. Is not his ears.
Well, because he's covering them up with his long hair. Remember, like.
But I've seen him with short hair, and that's not the first thing that when I see.
I don't know. I don't think he's a bad looking guy. So
no, he's not.
Does he have big ears? The new NMC suggested was the lighting really that bad.
Yeah, but then every episode will be about like any House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones episode. It'll be just get boring.
This is a little too dark. You know what did not have bad lighting though? That's right. Practical effects and good lighting. Catwoman.
Oh my gosh. I'd say even Blue Beetle didn't have terrible lighting.
We don't need CG, man. We got practical effects like that.
Oh my gosh, what's happening? Oh, yeah, everyone does forget about Solo, which I think I've seen. I don't think I've seen it like the whole way through, but I like Alden Ehrenreich. I think it's how
No, he was great in Oppenheimer.
Oh, he was great in Oppenheimer. Yeah.
He looks the part. It was just anytime a director walks away from a project, there's always going to be reasons. Like, and the same thing happened to Ant-Man, and people still love that. I don't know. I think Solo did have enough of a following. Some people really liked it. I just remember the setup to what's it called, the Darth Maul, and I'm like, oh, cool. They're going to bring him back somewhere. Nope. Yeah. Still waiting. Never going to happen. Still waiting on that. I like Maul.
Jet, the only way we're going to do that is if we're reviewing one movie. There's only one movie that to me is just deserving of that. Except for the fact he's in a bad, terrible, bad movie. I will take that.
That is a lot of bads, dude.
That is the worst adaptation 100%.
What if I liked it? What if I'm like, man, that's like
we're gonna watch it for my birthday month, and it wasn't.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because I'm talking shit on it, basically.
and you end up falling in love with it. You're like, that wasn't that bad.
Nope, I don't think that'll happen.
Kathleen Turner.
I'm sorry,
not Kathleen Turner. Kathleen Kennedy needs to get out.
There's a lot of people in Disney that need to exit right about now.
Like she needs like a tan. At least she's white as a ghost.
No, I'm thinking she needs to like leave, exit. Oh, you know what I mean.
She's been there for a long time. Let's see.
A lot of people.
Gareth Edwards, who made Rogue One, can't get memorable performances out of his actors. He also did Godzilla 2014. He's a good cinematographer, though. Yeah, I dug Godzilla 2014. I need to rewatch that. Emilia Clarke, Kira from Solo, does show up in the ongoing Star Wars. Yeah, she's part of the Crimson. Why am I pointing over here? Like
I don't know. Like we're gonna look at it.
Yeah, I don't. Wrong. Oh wait. Omar, 1.5. Wrong. No, but still pitifully risk averse. At best, The Force Awakens offers some poetic evocations of the rhyming of history,
cyclicality,
God bless,
and transgenerational inheritance, etc. But where's the second part?
He's still writing it. I think he's got to get my thesaurus. Donald Glover and his brother are writing a Lando. I heard about that. He was solid.
Yeah, I don't know.
Although he did get advice from his mama. His mama said, "Don't you fuck it up." Billy D. Williams is a natural treasure, and that's I will never forget that interview. He was like, "My mom told me the best advice I ever heard about playing the role of Lando. Don't fuck it up."
I don't know if that. So I don't think they're actually working on it right now because of the strike. But I think that's something that I would say that deal, like they signed on to write, came before the strike, because then they would look like they're scabbing, and that would never be a good look, even for Donald Glover. But yeah, I liked his Lando, and shoot, I love Donald Glover. So bring me more Donald Glover. I'm okay with that, unless he messes it up. And then don't bring me more Donald Glover.
All right, maybe next Imaginaut is still looking for his thesaurus. Rumor is that Tony Gilroy saved Rogue One third act and gave us Vader badassing. That's why Gilroy got the gift of Andor.
Oh,
interesting. Okay, yeah, I feel like that was added in there.
Yeah, it definitely was.
That was definitely added in there. In that it was not in the original.
But they had to have made somewhat of a memorable character out of Andor, because without that, why would we have even gotten the show about Cassian?
Well, I think because it has such a fan following. Like, hey, I want to know more about these characters. After Atlanta, I would pay for anything Donald Glover.
Oh, Atlanta's great. Yes.
Glover also wrote the animated Deadpool series that never came to fruition. As long as he got paid. Disney bought the studio that made Men in Black to try and make an actual memory wiper to use on everyone who saw Solo. You mean that's not real? Okay, nowhere in the same universe of meaning as something like Yee, but that's really it. In my opinion, it was the most conservative treatment conceivable for that particular sequel, short of ruining it. Oh, you're talking about, oh my God, I forgot.
Force Awakens. Like,
no, he's talking about the follow-up to Force Awakens, which is The Last Jedi. Yeah. It was the only way to do a proper sequel to that without copying and pasting Empire Strikes Back, which a lot of people thought they were going to do.
Oh, I mean, well, how else would you not think it is? Unless you made Finn become the Jedi, and that would have changed everything. Or we had two Jedi.
No, what really should have happened, and the saving grace of that movie for me would have been if she joined the dark side.
That would have been. I really
picks up the lightsaber, and they're like, "Hey, we got to go and rescue my friend because I still have faith in her."
And I still have feelings for her.
Because it's it was the corruption, right? And then in a way, it kind of ends on a bad note. Like, hey, holy shit, Rey just went dark. What are we gonna do?
So afraid to make her character evil. I think that's what stopped them, because they created a powerful female character and they were so afraid of ruining her that they're like, we can't do that. And I was like, no, my favorite female characters are the ones who are flawed, ones that can be corrupted. Make her corrupt. Oh, well, it's never going to happen now. So.
Oh, I like when girls go bad, It's
Yeah.
There was a whole video series about that.
Except maybe not
or Wild.
Going bad in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
What? That was awesome. That was
how I feel about her reasoning behind all of it and how it was portrayed.
Her reasoning was her kids. It makes the most sense out of anything that goes snap. Women in movies have snapped over losing a guy.
I know.
To me, this is a better reason to snap. Losing your kids is a better reason.
Kids never existed. Okay. Anyways, now I'm being too logical, like Doctor Strange. They never were.
What's happening? What's happening with you? What's happening here? Love seeing Clancy Brown. He's a great actor. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. He voiced Luthor in the Superman animated series. He was great in Carnival. I love that guy and everything he's in. After The Force Awakens, everyone was who's Rey's parents. And the opposite of I am your father is your parents are nobody. I really dug that. And I like the message. Don't get me wrong. Like when the kid picks up the broom and he's like, I'm a Jedi. What person in the audience didn't think of the childhood, like thinking they were holding a lightsaber, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I dug it. I dug that part. It was just, I think the movie as a whole, the Willow trope isn't good. Trope, the Willow, the show, the TV show,
the movie.
Well, don't worry, Disney forgot it. They pulled it, and we'll never see it again unless you download it. No, I was referring to The Force Awakens. I thought Last Jedi was the most shockingly cowardly and reactively risk-averse major studio release in recent memory. Completely appalling. Okay, that you were talking about. Okay, it's
I don't know if it was risk-averse because I feel like that's the one that created the most. Well, because it changed the lore, right? Like,
yeah, it left the lore open of anybody can be a Jedi, but it
didn't have to be a Skywalker.
But it also didn't take. I think it was just there to kind of piss people off, right? It gave you it was nothing but red herrings, and there is a amount that I like in my movies. I don't like the whole movie to be a red herring, but maybe Good Girls Gone Bad. I meant it's very.
Oh, you're right. That did happen in Willow. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was it?
Good Girls Gone Bad.
Oh, in Willow. What? Oh, I don't know. I tend to not. I did not like Willow. I did not. I love the movie, but I did not like the TV show. There were some poor choices made.
Yeah.
Tell that to the Jedi Saber YouTube guy. the Jedi Saber YouTube guy.
Oh, you remember him?
The kid?
Back in the day? Yes.
Yes. Clancy Brown and Peter Jacobson. All right, Good Girls Gone. Last Jedi had balls. I'm curious to going back and rewatch it and see what I think.
Now I feel like we need to do that at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. What's on the dock for next week, Panda?
Well, for Wednesday, I don't know yet, but we're gonna figure it out. But on Thursday, we are going to watch the first episode of One Piece, the live action on Netflix. And we are going to probably do a pre-recorded review of it because I have a Labor Day trip to take. So what we'll do is we'll do the first episode, and then we'll come back and review all the rest of the episodes later and give you like an overview of the One Piece live action and our thoughts, which will be very fun because since I don't read the manga or watch the anime, I'm coming into it with fresh eyes, baby.
Yeah, I'm curious what you're going to think because I'm coming at it from like, I'm a huge fan of the manga and the anime. And yeah. I'm coming at it already like this does not need to exist, but it looks promising. But I've never been happy really with an adaptation of an anime outside of the the Bleach movie was good. I like that, and the Kenshin movies were the Kenshin movies were solid. So some of them were good. And so I'm curious if this is going to go the route of those or more Cowboy Bebop, which was awful.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop is not fun. And I didn't even watch the anime, and I already know that I would not like it.
Awful. The Last Jedi is my favorite of the sequel trilogy. It did something different, and that's what I wanted after Force Awakens. I think that's why people really liked it.
Exactly.
Wanda forgot about Pietro faster than he saved all.
It's true. I mean, of all the people, if you're going to go bad,
go bad for your kids. Kids over your brothers. Absolutely. Just want my Green Lantern Corps omnibus to get here, Omar. When is the overview? Oh, tomorrow. I recorded that 2 days ago. Yep. Man, I love that stuff. Yeah, it's missing issues, but honestly, doing that overview made me think, oh, we need to do an old reader, new reader on Green Lantern Recharge and then Sinestro Corps War, because I really like those stories. Amanda, I'm ready for you now. If you ever need, I was like, where are you going with this, James?
Yeah, Omar shared me. So James is really something really cool. He's pretty much created a spreadsheet backlog of all of our ratings that we've done on Reelz Talk since we began Reelz Talk. So if ever we need to go back and remember what we rated something, now we have it at our fingertips instead of someone trying to scroll through a video in the middle of a live stream to figure it out. So thank you, James. It's awesome.
Ryan, brother, what would you give it, man? What would you give?
Yeah, what's your rating, Ryan?
The suit is coming back soon. I actually have the skeleton list, which is the slots, and they're filled in with a couple books. But they're that stuff always moves around. We need a Reelz Talk wiki page. We've been doing this for so many years. We should. James, where are you at? James, can you do that for us real quick?
Create the wiki page. Does it gonna have facts about us on there though, like who we are? Because that's how wikis are, right? You always have like
we don't need ages. We definitely don't need ages up there.
Oh, we can do ages. That's fine. I'm not afraid to age. Are you?
I mean,
I particularly enjoy the fact that I call myself an elder emo,
What the hell's an elder emo?
Those of us who are into emo music long before the kids of today are, because it's a resurgence today between Gen Z, but they weren't there when like
everything old is new again.
It's always what happens.
I'll send it as a Google Doc. There we go. You and James work together to make that happen. Ryan, what'd you give it, man?
Yes, Ryan, we need your score.
For the record, The Last Jedi was, in my opinion, the best Star Wars altogether had been since probably Dark Empire 2, which is a classic comic, if you've not read it. Amanda Don't Age.
I'll try not to.
Wrapped in plastic.
Yep. Oh, you say, I don't age. Thank you. I try. I use all the tricks in the book.
We're wrapping her in plastic.
The blood of virgins on a daily basis. Is that what they use to not age, or is it children? Is it
I'm gonna stop you right there before you get here. El Deremo, isn't that a lost city? No, that was
it is a lost city.
Stop it, Phil Owens. Elder Emo, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Nice, anything else tonight, Elder Emo? You millennials love giving yourself some titles, don't you?
We love titles.
Elder Emo.
One thing that I did send Omar, and I told him I was really mad that we didn't add him in our.
Oh God, do we need to do this last week?
So an announcement came that they're not doing a Nightwing movie. That there was one in the works. It's no longer happening. And then I told Omar, well, that sucks. We could have put him in our Brave and the Bold casting, but we thought that we would get.
I think he's too big for Brave and the Bold. I think he'll get his own thing.
I don't know what they have against doing a Nightwing Robin movie in general, but apparently we're not getting a Nightwing movie. Maybe down the line, but not anytime soon, it looks like. So that's a shame.
I think, what's it called? We'll end up getting a Titans movie or something.
I hope so. But I would hate to be that.
Amanda loves Sunny Day Real Estate. Thank you for that super dude. I love when you're cracking yourself up, Jack Ferry. Wrapped in plastic. That's one way to make sure you don't have another kid.
That is
where
yes.
are you all going with this? Are you married, Amanda?
Yes.
How
I am.
Live action Damien would be cooler, in my opinion. We casted that guy, Team Dick Grayson.
We did cast him. He will be in
Brave more Nightwing.
We do need more Nightwing, but he has to be as good looking, and that's the problem. Maybe that's why they're not doing it. He has to be as good looking as the comic version, and that's so hard.
Well, it depends on who's drawing him, right? Because
that's true.
On the artist, right? If it's Nicola Scott can draw one hell of a dick. Don't take that out of context. I don't know. Maybe she can.
I just realized you meant Dick Grayson and not.
Yes, I'm talking about Dick Grayson. What the hell did you think I was talking about? I don't know. Maybe she can. Of course she can. Yeah, sure. Anyway, or she end up with, you know what? I'm gonna stop talking.
No, of all the modern, of the more recent artists who have portrayed Dick Grayson. I have not found one I have not enjoyed. So
I think there definitely has to be like you got to meet a certain criteria to draw Dick Grayson's booty, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I literally LOL'd after that. People are gonna go. People are going left and right for Amanda's hand in marriage, while everyone shrugs. Everyone shrugs. Please,
because he just keeps his hand like this. Everyone already knows he's married because he's doing this all the time. I wave my hands around. No one knows what I'm doing.
My hands are always in my overviews. The guys that played Dick Grayson on Times was good. I thought he was good looking too.
Yeah, he's a good looking guy.
Beef up a little bit, and you can. I don't know. I love Dick. Dude, I started the hashtag forever Dick. Will CGI Nightwing's booty that doesn't exist in real life? I don't know. We got they got ass pads, right? You can put ass pads on the guy.
Henry Cavill wouldn't play him, but he has a nice booty. I don't know why we're talking about this. I think Chris Evans.
No, by all means, Amanda, can we do a whole episode on who's got the best fish to play Nightwing?
Okay, yeah. Let's just go through. That's so like yeah. That's so wrong.
No. We'll do that. And then the following episode, we're gonna be talking about chesticles and who can play the best Power Girl.
Yes, I was gonna say
who's gonna play Power Girl.
Well, because this is Nikita Lyons. Who's playing her.
I mean, I'm all about progressiveness and but I'm also about equality.
Yes, so. I don't want to create a whole
quid pro quo
objectifying men over Dick Grayson's ass.
Oh yeah, you can objectify men all you want to, but we're gonna get our share the following episode when we're doing nothing. I thought you already
cast her though. I thought you wanted Nikita Lyons to play Power Girl.
I just need excuses to find Nikita Lyons.
Oh, this is a good one though. Have you seen Sydney Sweeney?
Isn't she scheduled or isn't she going to be?
Oh, you're right. She's in Madam Web. That's right. Yeah. I forgot. She's already someone, guys. Not that she can't be in the DC universe, but
was it okay? What happened to Kate Upton? Remember her?
Yeah, no, not her.
What? I'm sorry. Is it my cast of Power Girl?
I think she doesn't have the body that I think you're like. Oh, anyways.
I'm gonna look
Jacob Elordi is Nightwing. He does look. He's a good looking dude. He's tall. He's a tall guy.
Who is this guy? The young kid
from Euphoria. His name Jacob in it. He always had he was always beating people up and choking people, and he was he did that in the Kissing Booth too. He just plays a certain character that just is always pissed off. So maybe that's good for Dick Grayson. I don't know.
No, that's a Jason Todd character.
Okay, maybe he should be Jason Todd.
The Kate Upton in Game of War commercial is what I was thinking of. Let me show you something. Let me show you.
Okay, well, Jack Ferry, thank you for the super chat. If Grayson is tall, he has big dick.
What?
What? Well, it's coming out. Sony Live Action is
coming out. What's coming out?
Well, we have a Craven trailers, right? And they did push it back because of the strikes, and that's unavoidable. But we know Madam Web is filming or was filming because they've talked about it. So it is happening.
Oh, yeah. I think that one is coming out.
Yeah, that's coming out.
Yeah.
Now, look. Bad Bunny's El Muerto's not. I did add a couple of
Why is it that you don't remind me during the show?
I don't know.
Look at that. We could use that.
Better if I did. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wow, you got him, and look, you got her without her. Ooh,
with her hair.
Dude, I was crushing on her. Like even
I like long hair. I would done.
Yeah, long hair. You saw that booty shot when she's riding that bike. They know their target audience.
Kingsport, how thank you for shooting your shot.
Race. All right, look, here's a Kate Upton, right? Like that's not the best Kate Upton, but like that's a good one, right? But the one that I was thinking about was the one in that.
But you saw Sydney Sweeney, right? Like
Yeah. I saw Sydney Sweeney.
Okay.
I see that. Now I'm just going to. I'm sorry. We gotta end the show because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about anymore.
I don't know either. Okay.
Videos of Kate Upton right now. This is
next week, Wednesday, we'll probably do Was It Really That Good or Was It Really That Bad? Maybe we'll do Last Jedi if we're feeling in the mood to watch something that will get everyone in a tizzy.
Once I get crazy now.
And then Thursday I don't know if Omar will push it out Thursday or if we'll push it out on Friday, our One Piece But we'll see what he does decide to do. Hare had more cake.
She did. Just those pants, though. It's those pants. I'm 5'11", pretty small.
Okay.
I love it.
On that note,
Chris Evans played both DC and Marvel, so
yeah, that's true. As long as it's not the same time, it's all good.
We still talk about Power Girl?
Yeah, we're still. Yeah, I don't think that Power Girl will be in Phase 1, Gods and Monsters, anyways. So, okay.
Sweetie.
And on that note, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.
This is your fault. You opened that door, man, and whenever you were you wanted to cast somebody based on their booty. We don't objectify on near mint condition. You just open that door, and this is what happened.
Okay. Well, let's go put up that Selma Hayek gift real quick. Hold on a second. Where's that Selma? Where's that Kat Dennings gift? Wait a minute. Wait a minute
now.
We don't objectify on this screen. Wait a minute. What?
Hey, wait, that was a birthday gift, man. Okay.
What do I get? What do I get?
Leave my private gifts alone.
What do I get?
You get that one right here, right there.
No, that's not mine. I get this, which I'm not gonna lie.
Okay,
I did.
See, I'm an equal opportunist.
No, I get this. I get the Bully McGuire dance. That's what I get.
What else does a woman want? Look at that.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
No, I know it's it's not all show. It's fine. I don't care. It's not a big deal.
Okay. Anything else before we sign off tonight?
Okay.
Is there anything else?
I don't know, because I don't know if I'll be able to get through this without laughing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget that like and subscribe button. Remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at nearmintcon.
Amanda, is this Twilight? What are you doing,
guys? I'm not like I'm just making a joke. I'm just getting on Omar. It's not that big of a deal because I like to pick on Omar. It's fun for me.
She's only getting
it's my pastime. Anyways, so thank you so much for watching for the third time. Don't forget that like and subscribe button.
You got it. You got this.
And remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at nearmintcon. Remember, check us out on Spread Shop for some great Near Mint Condition merchandise, and also check us out on Patreon.
So close.
For $1 a month or more, you can support us. Omar, just do it.
For $1 or more, you can support us. That's where you end it. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching us. We will be back next week. I will be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. And yes, Team Salma. Okay, we're choosing sides, right? All right, everyone, stay healthy and safe. Amanda, last but not least.
If it's classy, cool, it must be near mint. Good journey till all are one. We will see.
Yes, till all are one. I love it.